So, as a companion to our series on Omega level mutants, which focuses on the evolution of the powers of Marvel's top tier mutants, I wanted to dip my toe in the water of focusing on mutants with incredibly crappy powers, starting with Bailey Hoskins. So, ironically enough, Bailey's first and only appearance in Marvel Comics came with the 5-part story, The Worst X-Man Ever. Created by Max Bemis and Michael Walsh, the concept of Bailey Hoskins was designed to be a parody story taking place outside of the existing Marvel continuity and presenting us with a scenario about a mutant that quite literally has the worst power ever. Now, unlike most of the X-Men in Marvel Comics who were offered a place at Xavier's school after developing their abilities, Bailey's character didn't take this route. Instead, his mother had X-ray vision and his father could produce massive amounts of heat, and because the offspring of two mutants generally produces a child with the X gene, while they're not 100% sure, Bailey's parents are operating under the assumption that Bailey himself is a mutant. Now, where this fact remained hidden by Bailey's parents for most of his life, because mutant powers normally manifest between the ages of 12 and 16 years old, the time seemed right to inform Bailey of his mutant heritage due to his parents not knowing what he was capable of. What's also interesting about this is that instead of being depressed or fearful due to society's views of mutants, instead, Bailey is wildly excited about the prospect of having powers, even going so far as likening himself to Harry Potter. From here, Bemis and Walsh continue the trend of depicting Bailey as extremely excited when he's brought before Hank McCoy with the possibility of being inducted at the Xavier Institute. Now, the great thing about this moment is that it actually provides us with the transition that we don't normally see. What I mean here is that within the X-Men universe, these transitions did take place in the older comics, but in the modern day, mutants are usually brought before the X-Men where their initiation takes place off-panel, after which they officially become a part of the team. But for Bailey, the possibility of becoming an X-Man, fighting villains and so on, is actually designed to be a reflection of us as the reader, and that I don't know about you guys, but I think it'd be awesome to be an X-Man. And so after going through the process of being exposed to some testing equipment designed to analyze and summarize the nature of his X gene, while Bailey guesses at the possibilities ranging from growing wings like Warren Worthington to having a healing factor like Wolverine, these dreams are dashed to pieces when Hank McCoy explains that Bailey has the ability to explode on command, determining the density and shape of the explosion, meaning that he could level a city block or wipe out half a state. The downside to this is that Bailey can only do it once due to the fact that he'll die in the explosion. And so basically, this power sucks. And so basically, Bailey has the power to explode and then die. And that's it. That's all he can do. That's the worst power ever. But anyway, where Bailey takes some time to absorb the nature of his powers and the fact that they pretty much suck, his life gets even worse when his parents are killed by the arrival of a Sentinel who lands on them. Now, who it was that sent this Sentinel and why only one is there is never explained, but this particular moment is actually designed to be funny in contrast to the life of Bailey. What I mean here is that with Wolverine, Iceman, Nightcrawler, Storm, and the rest of the X-Men coming into action, the powers they possess are all amazing, especially Colossus and Wolverine's Fastball Special. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the Fastball Special is a classic maneuver with Colossus and Wolverine, and it literally just involves Wolverine popping his claws and then Colossus throwing him at something. It's pretty awesome. On the other hand, Bailey can't do any of this stuff. All he can do is basically blow up and die. Now, because Bailey's power is a one-off and would cost him his life, instead of using his gifts, Bailey doesn't really do anything and is basically a normal human among the X-Men. While he was provided a suit of armor designed by Forge which would allow him to contribute to battles and bolster his self-confidence, the problem with this is that when the X-Mansion is attacked by Purifiers, which were an extremist group operating under William Stryker who believed it was their mission from God to kill mutants, when Bailey subdues one of the Purifiers, he's sued for extreme emotional distress and mental anguish. Now, where the lawsuit doesn't require Bailey to serve jail time, as fallout of his actions, the Xavier School is forced to provide monetary compensation. After this, he was given positions on X-Force, X-Factor, the New Mutants, and Beta Flight, all of which were ancillary teams of the X-Men, with the exception of Beta Flight, who were the secondary team to Canada's Alpha Flight superhero team. The issue here is that Bailey kept making everyone mad by being socially awkward. When he was on the X-Force team, he didn't contribute anything, mostly because he didn't have what it took to kill people without mercy. When he was on X-Factor, he was being weird by mentioning Havoc as being the crappy Summers brother. And when he was on Beta Flight, well, he actually ended up leaving because Beta Flight and Alpha Flight pretty much suck. I'm sorry, Canada fans, but Alpha Flight sucks. But regarding his powers, where the rest of the story would see Bailey continuing to try to find his place in the school, His unique power also drew the attention of Magneto and his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, including Mystique, Toad, Blob, and Pyro, who looked to kill Professor Charles Xavier and disband the X-Men. Now, where the initial indication was that Magneto sought to use Bailey to blow up the school and kill Xavier in the process, after a fight broke out between Bailey and another student at the school named Riches, who could turn anything into gold, it was revealed that Riches himself was actually an inside man working for Magneto. Because the two had been sent to the office of Xavier for fighting, while Professor X informed them that their roles as X-Men would be useless regarding a peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants if they couldn't achieve peace among each other, Riches used the opportunity to achieve his mission by turning Xavier's tongue to gold, causing him to choke to death in the process. And so where the X-Men would disband, Riches rallied the mutant youth under himself, after which humanity was pushed to the brink of extinction and Riches seized control of the world. And so after receiving an invitation to a gala held by Riches in celebration of his conquering of the world, while Bailey's invitation was given for the purpose of Riches making fun of Bailey and the idea that he couldn't really do anything, Bailey seizes Riches by the neck and detonates, destroying himself, Riches, and the entire building in the process. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end, and let me know down in the comments section if you find these videos to be interesting. Let me know if you want to see them continue, and yeah, I will catch you guys later. Peace.